I'm LJ Nelson. This is Anitrah Nelson. We're from Slide, a gourmet slider restaurant coming to Uptown Detroit on Livernois.
Okay, and I guess the next question would be, how did we get to know or come to Lifeline? And one day I was actually out doing sales calls. I was listening to WDET, and they were talking about ownership of businesses by women, and they mentioned Lifeline. And so I called my brother because he was actually in the process of starting Slide, and I wasn't involved in it, but I said, hey, I heard about this organization that works with people on getting grants and or funding, but also resources. You may want to check them out. And then we kind of went to, you want to take it from there?
Yeah,
you told me to pick out a...
so the next step was on NPR, she actually heard that Lifeline was working with Huntington Bank. So we decided, it was just on a whim. We didn't know, the ad didn't say which Huntington Bank to go to. It didn't tell you where the money was. It just told you that Huntington Bank and Lifeline were available for people to find out to get resources for their business. So we made a conscious effort. Both of us used to live downtown, and we decided, hey, out of all the Huntington banks, let's just go to the one downtown to see if we can get some information. So we show up at the Huntington Bank down on Monroe. And we walk in, and it's a pretty small branch, but it's really busy. We sat there and wait for the branch manager. We waited for anybody to talk to us, and the branch manager actually came out and said, he's like, oh, how can I help you? We told him, we said we're here. We heard about there was a program for small businesses to get money for their business. And he kind of looks at us and just smiles and said, you guys came to the right place. I'm actually one of the teachers in the program.
I believe his name is Aaron.
His name is Aaron M. Binder, yes. Yeah. He said, wait a second, give me like 10 minutes. I have to finish up with somebody else. So he walks away. We look at each other. Oh my God, out of all the Huntington banks in this area, we chose the right one. We go into his office, and at that point, I think we talked a little bit about our business, where we were. I had already written like 80% of the business plan. I think we already.
I was still not really that involved,
like a partner yet. Yeah, so she wasn't a partner yet. So we started talking about the business, and he's like, "Oh my God, this program, they're going to love you over there," because at that point, both of us actually went to school for. She went to school for marketing. I went to school for industrial sales, and we had used a lot of the stuff that we known, just bouncing ideas off of each other. I had already written a business plan that was had a lot of information. It wasn't as robust as it is now, but it had a lot of information ready to go. And we had done a ton of pre-work and ton of research as far as learning about sustainable. I had been to sustainable food conferences. I had been to talking to consultants, talking to anybody that knew that had a restaurant, had a bar. So it had been I want to say it had been a 1.5-year process before we even show up to the door at Huntington. We had been working on it a 1.5 years pretty diligently. So from there, we leave, and they said, let me give you, Aaron said, let me give you a call, the branch manager. He says, let me give a call over at Lifeline. I'm going to tell them that you're coming. And at this point, this is when my sister decided that this is something that she wanted to get involved in, because the ball was rolling on that.
And I put quite a little bit of time into it.
So she put a little time into it. We get in. We actually came down here and we met with Ezra Brown, and it was a great meeting. I think we were talking to him I was talking to him for maybe 2 minutes, and he just stops me and he tells me how he can sense and feel the passion that I had in the business. But he appreciated that when I met with him, we had done a ton of research, and we had done a lot of work on our own before we just showed up on their doorstep asking for help. We had done our due diligence, and we were ready to receive help. And he told us he really appreciated that we were ready to do that. So from there, they passed us over to Carla McDonald, Lifesaver. She met with us several times to go over the business plan, go over the numbers, go over the pitch, and make sure that we were ready to go present in front of the Detroit Development Fund. So I guess I want to say that was about a 6-week process of just meeting, I guess, weekly. I think we were meeting weekly, sometimes twice a week, just getting ready to present in front of Detroit Development Fund. We actually met in this office right over there. You can't see it on camera. And we met with them and Ray Waters, and we presented. And he came. He basically in the meeting. He left. The takeaway was that I think this is a very good idea. I think that you guys are ready. I like the makeup of this team. And we left, and we thought we were on our way as far as the initial funding that we had, we needed for the business. So from there, we entered the Motor City Match program that came to like just through working with these channels and finding out what was out there for available entrepreneurs as far as additional capital for their businesses. And Ezra mentioned it as well. So we went to. We entered the Motor City Match competition, and we were the second round two. We were round two awardees for Make a Match. So we were able to make a match with our landlord, which our space is beautiful. Coming to Livernois, right across from Cuzzo's Chicken and Waffle. The space is awesome. And then from there, once we made that match from the program, the Make a Match program, we re-entered the Motor City Match program for the Match My Cash, where they provide grant dollars for businesses. So we were able to parlay the Detroit Development Fund, the Lifeline to Detroit Development Fund piece to the Motor City Match piece in line. It was almost like, in step. It was a stepping stone to get where we are right now. So where we're currently now, we're in the process of closing on our loan with Detroit Development Fund. Once we close on our loan with Detroit Development Fund, we'll receive the grant dollars from the $45,000 grant from Motor City Match for our space. We'll begin build out, and we anticipate being open in September.
What have you learned from your experience with Lifeline?
I have permission to speak for you.
Yes.
We have learned collectively that this is not a sprint. This is a startup business. This is going to be one of the most challenging, but also this has been the most rewarding thing I've ever done. To create something and to work with family, to work with people that see the potential in us, to learn more about something and really be committed to something on the days when you don't want to do something, on the days where you're tired, on the days you have other work to do. Both of us have our other careers that we focus on, but this has been our, I guess, labor of love for the last 2 years, 3 years. It's been everything that consumes us, and we've learned that in order to get things done, you need assistance from a program like Lifeline. You need people pulling for you. In a city like Detroit, I heard a quote the other day. It said, someone said it at a speech, they said Detroit is the type of city where it's large enough to matter, and it's small enough that you matter inside it. So a program like Lifeline has been great for us because we didn't know where to go. We just had an idea. We heard about these programs out there for business entrepreneurs, and we know they're out there, but you can't. It's not as simple. You just Google and show up one day. You have to be ready. You have to be coachable. You have to be able to be humble. And going through this process has taught us those things a million times over. We continue to be humble and we continue to be patient, but it's all for the greater good. Once we're open, there will be tears flowing. There will be me crying in the back. She's not an emotional person. She will cry as well because we know it takes a lot of work. But to see something come from just an idea to being open, and it's a great thing.
And may I add something too? I feel like and I guess I'll speak for you and also myself, is what I've learned from the experience with Lifeline is sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And having the help from either whether it be Carla or Nicole or Ezra or even the whole team is if those things pop up is that you do have resources that you can connect with that will kind of reassure you that you're not the only person that doesn't know it, but the information is there and they're able to help you. And also too is that you have a reputable environment where they help you, and essentially you are going to get something, a reward in the end of the process if you're willing to put in the work in the beginning.
Right.
Which a lot of times is that you have, for instance, and I know him and I have experienced it so much with starting a business, is that you have a lot of people where they see you as an opportunity to make things happen for themselves, whether it be from your upturn or from your downturn. And what I can say is it's great to have Lifeline where it is just all a positive experience in a reputable organization where you will get something from the outcome.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's safe to say, Lifeline. I mean, the name is just not a. It was our lifeline. We were. Where are we going to go now? We need money. We need help. We need assistance. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to get that thing? Who's going to listen to us? This is our first go at it, and we found that here. We found that it doesn't feel like when we come and we talk to people, it doesn't feel like we're just some outsiders. Now it feels like family. It feels like people we can go talk to from now until whenever, and they're happy to see us and happy to promote us and happy to help us out any way they can.